morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Day 2 of the RC. It's always such an honor and pleasure to get to start these days with you. So let's give ourselves a moment just to settle in, feel those sits bones ground down into the cushion. Taking a long, deep inhale, long, deep exhale, letting go of your morning, letting go of everything that brought you to your mat. I also want to encourage everybody to bring forward a little bit of self-gratitude. It's not always easy to get up extra early or create space in your home, move out of your normal rhythm. Not even always that easy to do yoga via a screen. So just give yourself a couple of moments here before we dive into our practice to offer some gratitude to yourself for making this happen. Everything that it took for you to get here this morning or this afternoon or this evening, wherever you happen to be. Even bringing forward gratitude for the little things. Pausing on your cup of coffee, having a late or an early breakfast, using a yoga mat that isn't your normal one, any of the things that you have had to do to be here in this moment. No act is too little to receive gratitude. And starting our day here at the RC with gratitude for self might help to later offer gratitude for others, recognizing all of the things, big or small, that they have had to go through to create the moment that you're experiencing. Maybe instructors who are leading for many hours at a time, students who also aren't used to sitting in front of a computer for hours at a time, putting together PowerPoints, meditations, experientials, all of the things that have come forward for you to experience this moment and moments to come. So as we move through our day and we move through our practice, nourish that experience of gratitude, first pouring it into self so that we can offer it out into the world. And I invite you to allow that to show up as gratitude for body when we put it in these different shapes. Maybe a shape that feels super delicious or a shape that feels a little bit stressful or strenuous. Gratitude that we have a body that can shift, a breath that can deepen, heart that can open. And it's from this space that we will begin the movement portion of our class. Letting the inhale bring our arms to the sky, breathing in that gratitude, the abundance, the merit from our practice. Reaching the fingers towards the sky, and on the exhale, we will arc in one direction. Come back through center. Arc in the opposite direction. And back through center. Exhale, float the hands down by our sides, fingertips reaching towards the edges of the mat. Feel the long spine, strong belly. On the exhale, right ear drops towards the right shoulder. Gently roll the chin towards the chest, gazing down at the belly button. And then left ear towards left shoulder. Chin comes towards chest, again gazing down at the belly button. And with our inhale, we'll bring our gaze back to center, stacking one cervical vertebrae on top of the other, letting the arms rise to the sky. Strong belly, long spine. One more deep breath here, lifting that heart. And exhale, arms float down by our sides. Let them move gracefully through the air, landing in our lap or on our thighs. From here, chest comes forward with our next inhale. Gaze rises to about where the wall and the ceiling meet. On the exhale, belly button comes in towards spine. Tuck the chin, roll that tailbone slightly under you, arcing through the back. Inhale, coming forward, shoulder blades roll together, lift through heart center. Exhale, belly button into spine, roll those shoulders forward. One more time here, feeling the shoulder blades rotate back and forth across those ribs. As we open heart, shoulder blades come together. And as we exhale, they spread apart. And making our way back to center. Inhale, arms rise. On the exhale, right hand will come down to the left thigh. Left hand comes behind us. Gentle twist. Inhale, lift through the spine, wringing out the belly, wringing out the torso, maybe gazing over the left shoulder. On the inhale, lengthen through the spine, grow tall. And on the exhale, maybe twist just slightly further. And from here, we'll slowly release, coming back to center. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, left hand comes down onto the right knee. Right hand comes behind us. Long and strong through the spine, strong belly. Again, rotate through the abdomen, rotate through the chest. Bring that right shoulder behind you. Maybe gaze over the right shoulder. One more breath here. And on the exhale, slowly return back to center. If you are seated up on a cushion, go ahead and set that to your side. We'll bring our feet directly out in front, toes reach for the sky. Getting right up on top of those sits bones. On the inhale, we'll bring our kneecaps back towards us, lift the heels up off of the floor. Feel that energy come all the way from the sits bones, down the backs of the legs, and out the heels. We'll take one more breath here. And with our next inhale, arms rise. Gently let the heels drop back down towards the earth. Roll your sits bones out behind you. Belly button comes down first, and then chest and chin. Finally, our gaze makes our way towards the knees. We're going to come into our nice deep forward fold. Continue rolling those sits bones out behind you. You're welcome to bend the knees here. Want to be really mindful. Early morning hamstrings. We approach them with gentleness rather than fierceness. So give yourself some time, maybe flexing one foot, pointing the other, maybe coming up slightly so the belly can fully expand for your inhale, coming a little deeper on the exhale. Even though we're finding stillness within the poses, that doesn't mean that we are solid like a statue. We allow for that fluid movement to continue happening. The breath rises and falls. The muscles soften and lengthen. And we'll take one more breath here. With our next inhale, slowly rise back to center. We'll bring our left foot in with us, giving that left knee a great big hug. From here, we'll shift this left foot over the right leg. Great big hug with the inside of the right elbow. Bringing that left knee in, we want to focus on opening through the outside of this left hip. We'll take one breath here. Right leg is strong, right foot is flexed, and with your next exhale, we'll enjoy a little bit of a twist. Moving that twist from the belly. We don't want to lead with the shoulders. We want to just try to wring out the core, letting the chest, shoulders, neck, and head follow. One breath here. And slowly return to center. Go ahead and unwind. We'll place that left foot on the inside of the right leg. With our next inhale, right arm rises. As we come forward, place that right hand on the inside of the right ankle, leg, or foot. We're going to gently press that right hand into the leg, holding a little bit of torque here, rotating through the chest. Left arm rises. You're welcome to stay right here, or you can bring this left hand over towards the right foot. Bicep traces right over the ear, fingertips reach out over the center of the head. And we'll take a couple of breaths here, attempting to keep that left sits bone on the earth, maybe feeling some opening in the low back, feeling some expansion from that space between ribs and top of the hip. Attempting to keep those shoulders stacked. We don't want this left shoulder to roll towards the mat. And with our next inhale, we'll come back to center and unwind. Right foot will come in for Baddha Konasana. Interlace those fingers around the toes. Sit up tall, open through the heart. Lengthening the spine, lift through the center of the head. And exhale, release. Left leg extends out in front, and we'll stand to the right. Give that right knee a great big hug, and we'll cross the foot over the left leg, bringing the knee in towards us with the inside of the left elbow, opening the outside of the right hip. Gives us an opportunity to settle that right sits bone down into the earth before we come into our twist. Again, we'll use the belly, gazing over the right shoulder, maybe placing the right hand down behind us, keeping the left leg strong, left toes are active towards the sky. We'll take one more breath. And with our exhale, slowly unwind, coming back to center. We'll uncross that right leg, placing the sole of the foot against the inside of the left. Left arm rises towards the sky, and we'll come forward, placing the left hand on the inside of that left leg, ankle, or foot. Right arm's gonna rise up. Reach those right fingers to the heavens. Feel free to stay here or come into a side bend. Right fingers are reaching towards the left toes. Again, that right sits bone softens into the earth, opening the space across the top of the right hip, bottom of the right ribs. We'll take one more deep breath here. And with our next inhale, slowly make our way back to center and unwind. Left foot comes in to meet the right. Bring those heels in nice and close towards the pelvis. We'll sit up nice and tall with our inhale and slowly come down into a forward fold, letting our gaze drop to the earth. Knees are making their way down to the mat, soften through the inner thighs, breathing into those lateral rotators. We'll take one more deep breath here. And with our inhale, slowly coming back to center, we'll stand the knees, bring those knees together, and then shift onto the feet or the toes. So whichever feels most right for you in your practice, you're welcome to just come into a squat, heels staying down on the earth, maybe hands staying down next to you. You can come onto those tippy toes, rising up from here, hands stay on the earth, or you're welcome to bring hands to heart center. If you have a bolster or a blanket in your space, you can roll that up and place it behind the heels so the heels have something to rest on if this balance doesn't feel right for you. We'll take one more breath here. And with our exhale, bringing the hands to the earth, lifting sits bones to the sky, we're in a forward fold. Long, deep breaths here, letting go of head, neck, and shoulders, maybe even rock the head into a yes or a no. Gentle ease in those shoulders, sits bones are reaching for the sky. One more breath here. We'll make our way into another variation of a squat. So we'll widen our stance, feet are hip width apart. Toes are going to point out ever so slightly towards the left and the right, so they're not square on it at noon on the clock. And then we'll drop our sits bones towards the earth. Heels are welcome to stay on the mat. Again, you can grab for that blanket if you are using one, or maybe come onto the toes. If it feels right for you, hands can come to heart center. One deep breath here. You're welcome to keep the hands on the earth. You're welcome to keep your sits bones high. Listen to your body. And slowly release, hands to the earth. We'll shift back into our forward fold. Feet come to hip width apart, parallel with one another. Soften the knees, we'll roll to standing. Belly button in towards the spine. Come on up nice and slow. Stacking those vertebrae one on top of the other as we roll all the way up. Finding our mountain here, ground the feet into the earth. Hands are soft by our side, lifting through the center of the head. Belly's nice and strong. Find that neutral pelvis. And with our inhale, arms rise. Reaching through the fingers, we're gonna arc our arms over to the right, and then you're welcome to bring your left foot across if that feels good for you. Finding that deep side bend, maybe even bringing right hand to trace down that right leg. Reaching those fingertips towards the earth. And from here, we'll come back to center and slowly unwind. Taking that in the opposite direction, again, finding what's right for you. You're welcome to bend from the top half. You can bring that right foot over. Maybe left hand comes down the leg. Opening through armpit, ribs, down through the side body, releasing the lateral edge of that right leg. We'll take one more breath here. And let our inhale bring us back to center and unwind. Float the hands down by our sides, big shoulder rolls. We move those joints this morning. Again, find that gratitude. You have a body that moves, take it through its range of motion, whether it's big or small, opposite direction. Roll those shoulders forward. And come to center. Hands make their way to our hips. We'll take a wide stance, big hip circles. Again, nice and slow through these circles so you can really feel the expansiveness of your range of motion. The slower you go, the more in tune you can become with the inner workings of those joints. And we'll take one in the opposite direction. Rotating through the hips, maybe releasing a little bit of a crack or a pop in there. And come back to center. Heel to toe, let's walk our feet together. We're gonna shift our weight onto our right foot. We're making our way into tree. So we're gonna ground down through that right foot first. Feeling the bottom of the foot, feeling all 5 toes, the heel, making full contact here. Nice and buoyant in that right leg. We don't wanna lock out the knee. Keep a little bit of a bend in that right knee. Left foot can come to the ankle, maybe to the lower leg, maybe to the inner thigh if that feels good for you in your practice this morning. We'll bring our hands to heart center. We want to think about opening through the pelvis. This left knee reaches out behind us, nice and square through the front of the body. Buoyant in that standing leg. If it feels good for you to raise your arms, you can let them open like branches of a tree. Keep the shoulders down, long spine. Steady your gaze on something out in front. We'll take one more breath. And with our exhale, slowly release and come on down. Let's roll that right ankle, give a little bit of love into that joint. And we'll take our time switching sides. Left foot grounds into the earth, nice and buoyant in the standing leg. We'll bring our right foot over to maybe the ankle or heel, maybe down into the lower leg, maybe finding a place up in the inner thigh. Just being real mindful that you're not pressing directly into that left knee. So noticing where that foot is, keeping our joints safe, buoyant and strong in the left leg. Right knee is open out behind us. Arms can come to hands at center or hands to the sky. Settle the gaze, strong belly, long spine. One more breath. And with our exhale, we'll slowly release and come on down. Go ahead and roll out that left ankle. Couple rolls each direction. And from here, we'll take our time coming to the back of the mat. So wherever you are, set up in your space, we want to be able to look at the full mat out in front of us. So heels are up against the edge of the mat. We want to find that mountain pose. So we'll start with our Tadasana. Grounding the feet down into the earth, feeling those feet planted, soft and buoyant in the knees, neutral pelvis, long spine, soft shoulders. Gaze can either be out towards that top edge of the mat, or you're welcome to close your eyes. We're just going to settle in here, checking in with what's happening inside the body, finding the breath. And with our next long inhale, arms rise. Palms come to touch ever so slightly. We'll press those palms into one another as we fold forward, keeping the chest open, tops of the shoulders open, coming all the way down into our forward fold, letting our fingertips dangle towards the earth, sits bones reach up for the heavens. Nice long legs. Again, you're welcome to have those knees bent if that feels most right for you. Placing our hands just below the knees, we'll lift for a flat back. Peel the belly up and away, long spine. And on the exhale, we'll fold forward. Soften the knees, bring the hands to the earth, attempting to keep those heels down as long as you can as we walk the hands out for downward dog. At any point, if those heels need to come up off of the earth, to make sure that we've got a nice straight back, and then feel free to lift the heels, maybe even bend the knees. Roll those sits bones to the sky. Our first downward dog this morning. Pedal into that nice and slow. Maybe shift your weight from left to right. And with our next inhale, we'll bring our right foot to the sky. Point through those right toes. As we bend our knee, we're going to let that right foot dangle over the left side of the body. So we're in three-legged dog, right knee's reaching for the sky. And we'll take one more deep breath here. And inhale, right foot flies to the sky. We'll bring that right foot all the way through, planting our feet for warrior one. Take your time. Foundation is of most importance. As you're ready, come up. Checking your alignment, right knee directly above or somewhere behind that ankle. Squaring the hips off towards the skinny edge of the mat. Shoulders are soft. Warrior one. One more breath here. And with our next inhale, we're going to kick off those left toes, bringing the left foot forward to meet the right. Find your mountain. Long, deep breath. Inhale, arms rise. Palms come to touch ever so slightly. Press the palms into one another as you fold forward, coming all the way down into our full forward fold. Taking a long, deep breath here, gently bending the knees so the hands can come to the earth, and we'll step back for downward dog. Heels make their way towards the earth. They definitely don't have to touch. But with our next inhale, we'll bring our left foot to the sky. Point through those left toes. Gently bend the left knee. Toes are draping down the right side of the body, lifting the left knee to the heavens, releasing through the front of the hip. And with your inhale, we'll kick the left foot back to the sky, bring it all the way forward in between the hands. Then ground your posture in first before you rise up. And we find our warrior one. Hips are square, that right heel is making its way towards the earth, soft shoulders, long spine, strong belly. One more breath. And with our exhale, we'll bring our hands to the earth. We're going to step left foot back for plank. You're welcome to come into tabletop if plank doesn't feel good for you this morning. Long through the spine, depending on whichever pose you're in. Either you'll be reaching through your heels in plank or reaching through that sacrum if you're in tabletop. Let's take one more breath here. On the exhale, bringing the knees to the earth, we'll shift back for child's pose. Forehead to the floor, hands stay extended out in front. Nice long side bodies. One more breath. And with our inhale, shifting the weight back up into tabletop. One moment here, find the strong belly, curl those toes under. As you're ready, we'll press into downward dog. Sits bones to the heavens, heels towards the earth. We'll take a long, deep breath here. With our next inhale, let's step the right foot forward. Plant those feet for warrior one. Come on up. Nice long, deep breath. And with our inhale, we're going to kick off the left toes and make our way into warrior three. We've got lots of options here, depending on where you are in your practice this morning. You can bring simply the hands out in front, keep those left toes on the earth. Maybe you want to bring those left toes just an inch or so off of the ground. If it feels good for you to bring that left leg all the way up behind, parallel with the earth, reach through that left heel. Arms are out in front, nice and strong in our standing leg. From here, we'll fly our hands by our side, open through the heart. And as you're ready, we'll trust that that earth will be there for us. Gentle bend in that right knee as we settle back into warrior one. Find your breath, long spine. And we'll step the left foot forward to meet the right. Find your mountain. Fingertips drape to the earth. Settle your gaze. And we'll shift our weight onto the left foot. Let's step the right foot behind us. Find warrior one. Square off the hips, long spine. And again, make your way into warrior three, whatever version feels right. Maybe those toes want to stay on the ground. Maybe the leg wants to come up slightly. Maybe we want to find our full pose. Reach through that right heel, right toes are facing the earth. And from here, we'll fly our hands by our sides, open through the heart, and trust that the earth will be there. Find your warrior. On the exhale, hands make their way all the way down. We'll step back for plank. Strong belly, long spine. Again, tabletop is more than welcome. And with our exhale, release the knees to the earth. Shift back for child's pose. Forehead to the floor. Breathe here. And with our next inhale, we'll lower ourselves all the way down onto our bellies, placing either cheek or forehead on the earth. Whatever feels easiest and more comfortable on the neck, letting the feet be down behind us. Hands are going to stay by our sides, palms pressing into the earth. Let's keep those elbows in nice and close. With our first inhale, we're going to take a baby cobra. Bringing the gaze out in front, lifting just to the bottom of the ribs, opening through the heart, point through those toes. And on the exhale, release either forehead or opposite cheek comes to the earth. With our next inhale, we'll take a nice full cobra, press the palms into the earth, keep those elbows in close to the body. As we lift, we lead with the heart. Heart reaches out over the top of the mat first. Slowly pressing into those palms as we rise up, peel the belly up and away from the mat, point through the toes. And with our exhale, we'll slowly release, coming all the way down. From here, take your time rolling onto your back, knees come into the chest. And give those knees a great big hug. Just rolling out any tension that may have formed in the low back while we were on our belly. We slowly rock from side to side. Maybe we want to do some egg beaters. Maybe even dropping into a bit of a lazy happy baby as those knees drop from one side, drop to one side and the other. And from here, we'll all bring our knees together, placing the hands on the shins. With our next inhale, we're going to press the knees away from us, bring the chin towards the chest, and have a mindful head to knee. Forehead makes its way towards those knees, belly button into the spine, opening the space between shoulder blades. And from here, we'll return to our mat and bring our feet to the earth. We'll keep our knees standing here. Heels come nice and close in towards our sits bones. And allowing those hands to be down by our sides, palms face the earth. And move into some gentle bridge motions here. So please listen to your body and what feels most right for you. We'll begin by flattening the small of our back on the earth, pointing the tailbone to the space between the knees. So as we do that super gentle movement, we activate the low belly. You can also think about bringing pubic bone towards the bottom ribs. Really feel the spine flat down on the earth. This is the position from which we want to move here as we move through these pelvic tilts. So with our first inhale, our next inhale, we'll lift through that tailbone. So imagine that you've got a string of pearls here. You're lifting from one side of that string. The tailbone leads. We keep the pelvis tucked, and then one vertebrae at a time leaves the earth. We're pressing our hands down by our sides, activating those triceps, lifting through the pelvis, one vertebrae at a time, rises up, making your way into your bridge. We've got the weight in our heels. Maintain that tuck in the pelvis so the low belly stays active this whole time. And from the top of our bridge, we'll take a deep breath. Imagine you've got a ball between those knees, holding those knees strong. And from here, we'll lower down one vertebrae at a time. Again, like that string of pearls, so the tailbone stays tucked. Low belly is strong. One vertebrae at a time. One vertebrae at a time. Lands on the earth. Finally, the sacrum. And then the tailbone. As we get to the bottom, our full body weight is resting on the mat. Deep breath, really release through the perineum. Let that tailbone be heavy. Try to let it go. And we'll do one more. Again, tuck that tailbone before you start to lift. Lead with the tailbone. Engage the glutes. We've got hamstrings and quads strong. Heels are making full contact with the mat. As you rise up, backs of the arms, palms press into the earth. Keep the back of that neck really long so we don't want to gaze over our brow. Keep the gaze forward, chin is slightly tucked, creating long line on the back of the body. And from here, we'll come down one vertebrae at a time. Belly stays strong all the way down. When you get to the bottom, release. Really feel that deep rest and restoration. Tailbone rests, glutes soften, hamstrings and quads soften, and we feel the perineum come to rest. Deep breath here. Slowly walk the feet together. Soles of the feet come together as our knees drop to the left and right. We're in a reclining Baddha Konasana. This shape will allow the low back to reach up away from the earth. So gently tucking the pelvis in that opposite direction now. Tailbone reaches into the earth, almost as if you could squeeze a hand or two underneath that lumbar spine, really accentuating the lumbar curve. Heart is open. Hands can be out at our side, maybe palms to the sky. We find our breath here. Finding that deep rest at the bottom of the breath. And with our next inhale, we're going to stand to the right knee and then bring that right leg all the way over so the knees come together. Gaze is over the right shoulder, attempting to keep that right shoulder down on here. Releasing the spine, just a gentle twist before we settle into our final pose this morning. Slowly make your way back to center. That right knee comes back down to the earth. And when you're ready, you'll stand the left knee. Bring the left knee all the way across. Stacking those legs, knees are touching. Gaze is over the left hand. We want to start to recognize the places in the body that we can soften to start bringing ourselves into that rest and restoration part of our practice. So even in this final twist, what can you soften? Maybe it's the palms, the shoulders, the brow, the jaw. And slowly we'll stand the left knee, coming all the way back to center. Deep breath here. And we'll slowly bring the knees together. Bring those knees into the chest. Take one more mindful head to knee. Gently press those knees away. Tuck the chin, rounding the spine. And we lower all the way to the earth. Feet come down to the bottom of the mat. Let those feet flop open. Hands come by our sides. Palms are open to the space in the room. Signaling to the body, this is time for rest, time to restore. And giving yourself these next few moments to let your body, mind, and spirit simply be. There's nothing you have to do, nowhere else to be, no formal practice. Just simply enjoying the space that you've created. Letting the body rest in its space of ease. Letting the breath rise and fall. Is an opportunity to simply watch the mind. Don't feel that you need to control it. You can let go of that hypervigilance of trying to control the workings of the mind. But instead, simply step back. Maybe noticing that there are parts of the mind, body, or spirit that are calling your attention. From this perspective of watching, we can become more aware of the areas of the body, mind, or spirit that need or desire that attention. Simply notice. Recognize that this place of observing presence is available at any moment in time. Learning, feeling, remembering, sensing into how this space feels. When the busyness creeps in, whether that be internal busyness or external busyness, we have the opportunity to find refuge in the witnessing of the breath. As we begin to transition from this moment to the next, we begin to embody the witnessing, the experiencing, the presencing from the toes through the feet, gentle movement in the heels, from the ankles to the knees, gentle movement in the hips. From the fingers to the palms, movement in the wrists. From the wrists to the elbows, and gentle movement in the shoulders. Letting your chin roll towards left shoulder, back to center, and towards right shoulder, and back to center. Let the left heel slide up the mat and stand the knee as the heel approaches the sits bone. Right heel slides up the mat, gently standing the knee. And we'll shift our hips in one direction, letting the knees drop in the other direction, giving yourself the opportunity to roll onto one side. And we'll breathe here. Long inhales, long exhales. Letting your next breath slowly start to press you up to a comfortable seated position, either perched upon your cushion or simply cross-legged on your mat. Finding that tall, upright posture, long spine, strong belly. We'll take a long, deep breath together, letting the arms rise, again, breathing in that gratitude, the merit and the abundance of our practice. Palms come to heart center. Again, I want to thank you all for being with us this morning, afternoon, or evening. Thank you for coming out. Enjoy your day at the RC. I hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Have a good day.